So what I'm trying to get into here, if you look at the vibe that's going on about this film 12 Years Slave, about that girl, Lupita Nyong'o from Kenya. You got people saying that, oh, she's not Kenyan, she was born in Mexico, she's Mexican. Oh no, she's not Mexican, she's American. Whatever the case is, it's about who owns her. Nobody owns her. She's African, and she belongs to Africa. That's what it is. There's never been any ownership of anybody. She belongs where she belongs, which is Africa. It doesn't matter whether her parents immigrated from Africa to America. No, it doesn't really matter. What matters is she's an African. I'm in UK myself. It doesn't make me a British. I'm an African. I'm always going to be remaining African. If you ask me, I'm an African. If I'm going to have children one day, if you ask them, they'll say, I'm an African. They'll never become British. And that will never ever happen. So the same story that you're talking about, this girl, it's like saying that all the elephants that been born here and raised here, they're actually British. No, they're just born and raised here, but they're African. They came from Africa. All these things were stolen from Africa. The animals you see, the people, the majority of all these things, they were stolen from Africa. A majority of them, if they're African, if they came and moved into America, it doesn't make them an American. They'll never be an American. And you guys, you talk about this all the time, and they'll never be. And another thing is, if you see like black people, like where we live in England, they're always treated just like they are the black people from Africa or the Caribbean, whatever the case is. So you never become one. But just because this girl now, she's appeared in a movie, and everyone start to think like, wow, she belongs to us, or she's like this. She doesn't belong to anyone. But to Hollywood, she is an asset. To white people, she is an asset. Because one thing a lot of you black people don't understand is you're assets to white people. You are owned by white people. Once you get to wake up and realize this, that the white people own you, and they don't actually need to force you. You conform to this. It's your consent. What I'm saying by this, I will explain to make it clear to you. If you see every black person you see right now who is a star, either a footballer or as a musician or whatsoever, if you look at all these guys, majority of them are the most dumbest black people you probably can meet, because the white person wants someone they can control. And you can see that how they divide you. If you watch the movie 12 Years Slave, there was that point when the slave master says, what did you say to Pats? So basically he was coming from collecting it from another place, from another house. I can't remember well in the film. But then he says, what did you say to Pats? But this is how white people divide you. They don't want you to communicate so that you can have this knowledge, so you can understand that they're using you, but the white people are using you. But the white people are doing things that are best for their race. So you black people need to do things that are best for your race, but you don't do nothing. Everything that's done is done to you. You're offered a job by white people, you work for white people, you're paid by white people. Yes, it's been like this for years. Black people need to start realizing this. A lot of black people are very talented, but they don't use their talents correctly. They don't really realize who they are, because they believe that whatever they have is not good enough. So they wait for another person to come, mainly a white person. This is what they believe in, because you've been brainwashed so much that you think the only person who can feed you is a white person. So basically, whenever a white person comes to you, it's like, okay, we look at a rapper, or we look at an athlete or something like that. An athlete is living his life, ignorant, walking in the streets of New York or whatever he is, and then a white guy comes up and say to you, I think you're good in basketball. I think you're good you're a good runner. I want to put you in the game. Then the white person takes you, puts you in the game. You have no idea what's going on. You don't even know who you are. You don't even know how good you are. Then this white person basically says like, I'm going to put you in the game, and I'm going to take percentage of all your earnings, but basically you are working for me. You are still a slave. It's your consent. You're already a slave, but you believe that just because he's paying you, you're not a slave. You are a slave because they are paying you to do things that you could simply be doing yourself. So what you need to do, black people, you need to realize your talents, and you need to realize the worth of your talents. That a lot of white people really, there will not be any successful games and all the successful musicians without majority of these black people. You should realize that you're not only good with music, you're good intellectually. You can think. Some of you can strategize, but you don't use these tools. Because you're lazy to think. You need to start thinking and realize what you get, the power, you're very, black people are very strong people. This is the reason why that the majority of races that are always have the issues are the white and blacks, because these are the only strongest races. Just like we speak, like in the jungle, we got the lions and we got the leopards and we got the elephants. But the more strongest races are black and white, and there's no doubt about that. But my concern is just because white people realize that the black and these other races were going to be more powerful than them. So white people started working together to gather themselves to be more powerful, to be able to control, divide and conquer. This is what they've done.